Okay, test. Yeah, that looks to be working. Oh, doke. Don't need that. Just give me a second to finish setting up. What's up, Super Pair? Just getting my chat. Pop out. Oh, I can't treat that. Okay. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, cool. Classic setup of the stream. I've already kind of started painting here. I like having my live stream view so I can see a small version of my painting off to the side, and I was just working on it without streaming. I thought, well, may as well turn it on. But I think I'm going to focus a little less on the chat today. I would love to finish this painting. Kind of don't want this here. There we go. But if I want to finish today, I gotta put in some focus work here. That's right, that's the whole thing. They're originals. Is this a mark that I just put down? What is that? Is that a fly? Well, I'm gonna go over that spot again. Okay. It's kind of nice because this painting has had a few days to dry. Maybe 3 days to dry. A little bit, not fully, but just enough that when I put these second layers on, or these additional layers, it's not just like picking up the paint. Sometimes it just sort of moves the paint that's already on the surface. Just be really careful here, hold up. Already kind of messed it up. just want to add a little bit of color above here. And I'll just get rid of it. Add it. And then dilute it. Okay. I kind of mix this with a bit of gray, so I'm just going to wipe it off again, grab some linseed oil, go in with my darkest dark, just really quickly. Gonna go around this block, this wedge of cheese, for hopefully the final time. Shit, I should maybe clean this one off too. The head on this brush is loose. So just remember to take a second to glue it at the end of this maybe. Just gonna spend a bit of time giving a layer to the background, and then I'll finish up this, although I was working on it and I think it looks significantly better than last session. The paint was just a little bit too wet to get these details, or these smooth edges. Okay, I need to use my bigger brush. I also think I'm gonna need to mix more black. I'll just get rid of everything that's on here. Actually, I'm gonna switch back to this and do the bottom, so it doesn't matter if I leave some black on here. So I'm just gonna do that now. Bigger brush. Smooth out the area that I've already gone over. Drag it all the way to this side, honestly. Okay, I think that's looking good. Now, what is it? All right, so just try and softly this part is a little bit weird, so I'm going to try and blend this out a little. And I think I can even bring this a little lower. The dark down towards this very light, or sorry, this also very dark area of the cloth. Okay, cool. Now I can just, oh wait, there's one more area. Probably shouldn't use this brush actually, it's too big now. I've kind of half done this section here. I did want to cover this with one more layer. And good news, plenty of black, don't need to make any more, at least for now. I'm going a little high here. It's okay actually. Just leaving that tiny little gap. I want there to be just a bit of a soft edge, even though I think technically it could be hard, but just because it's not part of the focus point of the painting, I want this area to be just a little bit soft. Even this spot here is a little hard, so I'm just gonna really gently pull at it. And I think, actually I wouldn't go much lower than that. So I'm just gonna do this all the way down. It's actually already quite soft in areas. That looks pretty decent. Now, just take a second. I'm just gonna assess how dark everything needs to be. So what I'm seeing is this area needs to be darker. Kind of want to cut off this little bit of a tail I've got here. Darker, darker. Actually, that's fine. Dark all the way through. And I think if I just blend this area a little bit in the right ways, because it's really dark at the bottom, but it's honestly, I don't know. This is definitely too sharp. I just want to pull a little bit of this like light down. Anywhere there's kind of light, and then I'll blend out the edge I see after. Sort of pulling from the light side. And I don't really like this edge, so I'm going to try and blend it away. She looks pretty good. There is this wrinkle here that kind of continues, but it's not that obvious in the picture reference. And then this part is just a little bit too sharp. Just going back and forth. Yeah, that's too sharp. Let's just go from dark to light. I like that. Yeah, I think that looks nice. Now then, this part needs to be a little softened. Feels pretty good. And then this part needs to be softened. This is so sharp, it's weird. I'm gonna go back in under here with some just black to darken this up, but for now, fix the edge. And then this part is a little wider than what I have. So I'm just gonna try and subtly add this thickness back. And then on the bottom here, pulling that a little bit. Okay, now to darken underneath the left fold. Just want to kind of start here in the middle and see. I'll do the middle portion and spread it out from there. Just trying to control the edge. But it is quite fun painting fabric. Like that, I think looks quite nice. Yeah. It's coming together. It's funny how little I can, when I look at the canvas I'm actually working on, I get a little bit less information than when I look over to my right at my OBS, which has just a small version of the painting live sort of feed, obviously. But it gives me, at a quick glance, this is part of the thing I want to get rid of, what my painting looks like far away, basically. And it's so easy. Might be the one thing that gets me to do these live streams. It's just that I really like being able to quickly glance at that. All right, let's continue this dark here, even though, well, kind of needs it actually. Don't really need the mall stick. And frankly, I can use a bigger brush. Just darkening the deepest parts of this cloth. Okay. I think that's looking strong, I feel like. Tempted to just get a little bit more darkness in there. I think everything else I'm going to leave for now. Definitely possible that I mess around with it later on, but that's good for this moment. So now, going to move on to the board again. So I worked a little bit on the board last session. But it needs more work. taking off early. There we go. I really like these flat brushes, so just cleaning off all the black and gray. It's funny, I mixed this color here, that's the light side of the dark cloth, and I thought it was gonna be way, way, way too dark still, but it actually is a pretty decent match. It's, if anything, it's too light. Or I need to just like darken these areas. But maybe it looks fine. Maybe it looks good enough, I think. Better, potentially, I should say. Okay, let's just see here. I don't know if I really have good colors mixed for the wood here. Take a look at what. I'm just color sampling my photo. I got a desaturated orange. I mean, that makes sense. Feels like even lighter than that, what I've mixed. Take the time to mix just something slightly lighter. Let me just see here, lightness, lightness. I think a little white. Yeah, because this is not, even this is not the right color, is it? No. It needs more yellow too. Try that. It's essentially too orange. Getting closer. Is it still too dark? Yeah, so white. Have to get there eventually. This feels okay. I'm gonna keep this one, take half of it, bring it over here and mix it with more white. Yeah, that's perfect. I don't think I'll need much of this. I'll make a slight bit more. Whoa, shit. Just on my palette over here mixing a quick second. I think that looks good. If anything, that's a little bit light, actually. I'm gonna play with that. Wipe off the palette knife, make sure this brush is clean to use. Okay, definitely gonna need the mall stick. A little bit of linseed oil on the brush. And I've got this kind of low saturation, or like medium saturation. Oh, I should be using a smaller brush, I think. It's a medium saturation orange. So I've taken the orange a little bit to the yellow side. I actually don't think I can use this brush. It's also kind of splitting, so I'll use this one. Is this one clean? No. I could kind of see that it wasn't. And with black, no less. So just cleaning off the brush in Gamsol. And then wiping the Gamsol off. I don't really want any of that in the business. Over to the oil, linseed oil. And then back to this sort of soft brown paint. I need to lean in a bit here because there's a spot that I created with my finger by mistake. That definitely has to go. So I'm just gonna get the main base color down, then I'll add some variation to the edges. For now, I'm essentially establishing the shape that this is. Making it a little bit bigger than make it a little bigger than it actually is in the photo. Okay, that looks nice from far away. This is quite high. We're just going to mark this line, indicate where that ends. And then to a certain extent, I want to help define the shadows. So that's flat, that should go up a little, down, up a little. This commentary is absurd, but that is what I'm thinking literally in my brain cells. I feel like I've gone way too low with this one. I'm going to try and just only paint the top, maybe 2/3 of this area that I've marked as light. Okay, yeah, definitely too large, but super easy to fix, so not too fussed. Let's do the slightly darker areas here. I think the edges of these are just like a little bit more orange. So I've got something kind of mixed up already that I think is close. Almost feels like I'm just sort of pushing away the light layer I just put down, but I'll just see how this works. I don't even think I want any linseed oil on the brush right now. I'm going a little bit pure paint out of the tube, basically. So Hard to even notice this. Okay, might be able to define that a little better when I do the dark side and blend the two. I want to get the edge just to show that it drops off. I mean, that's not dark enough, but I will darken that more and more as I continue to go darker. Honestly, I think it's time right now. Maybe a mix between what I have here and this orange I've been working with. Just establish that this side is, there is a side here, basically. I gotta be super careful though here. I've already kind of blurred it with the background. It's probably really tough to see on the camera, actually. Maybe not. Does that even look? Does that even look? I don't know. Darker, I think. Should be darker. I'm gonna grab essentially a brown and just put it right on the edge. I'm just like tapping with this flat brush. I think that looks good. I am gonna go quickly back over this with black. I just have another small brush. And just, I gotta be so careful here. It's okay if they mix a little bit of a soft edge is all right with me. But it was getting a little out of hand. Now I'm just pulling from that edge. It's too much darkness, so I'm going back to this lighter color. And just kind of mimicking some grains. Yeah, a little bit too much off the edge. I can definitely see it when I look at the OBS. Okay. And then I want the back half of this light area of the cutting board to be darker. I'm gonna go in with the super light one more time. And just see if I can pull out a bit of this like wood grain. I don't know if I can. But I just know that this part is a little lighter. We have to use like a bit more white in this color. Let's try this again. Don't worry about this kind of weird edge here. I'm just gonna cover it up when I do the darker oranges. It's probably like a couple millimeters too wide, you know? So I'm happy to cut that down. I do think the back size looks about right, but the front needs to be a little bit wider. So yeah, I'll fix that when I go over. You can see it in the shadow here. This part of the shadow, there's very little white in between. But I think I am gonna add just a little bit more white and see what this looks like. This is like basically, it's super tan. It's just basically white. And this is like, I guess, not really a highlight, but it's like a highlighted area. There's definitely one right here. Once again, raising this up a little bit. This is way thicker than it is in the photo, but I'll cut it out. Okay. Let's move on to this darker orange and just, it's just too hard to tell if it looks good or not without some of the side colors. Let me just double check what this color looks like. So I'm just color swatching the reference photo. And I actually have a pretty good mix, I think. It's not the exact same, but like I always say, it's painting. Shouldn't be the exact same. Doesn't have to be the exact same. Doesn't have to be. Yeah, this is really narrow. I think I gotta cut off like to here. Kind of just make a mark. Start to establish the color change. Roughly. Got the cold tea rocking. See this, I might even have to go to the, every time I use what I think is a paint that's too dark, it's actually too light. Hold it. Okay. Decent, decent. I think one more sort of push here. I need to establish it down here a little more. That actually looks good. Dare I say. Like, seriously, dare I say. So I've got my... Ooh, one thing okay, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Got my mid-tone here. Just want to lay it down in a pretty straight line. I feel like it helps define this little dark edge here, which looks good. I kind of picked from the wrong, but I'm gonna go with it for a little bit. Picked from the wrong pile. God. Even just slightly messing the edge up. Looks so bad on the screen. This is oil paint. Thanks for asking, Mystical. Mystical Ren. Working with oil paint right now. So this part is actually lighter. Let's add in the... This is like the side. Actually might even need even lighter. Let's use this. Just indicate this very small side plane of the cutting board. I think I straightened it out a little more than I wanted to, and this pulls up decently far. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, maybe you're right. I should put like the word oil painting or the words oil painting in my title. It's hard to tell. So I'm gonna grab some, just a little bit darker brown here. And I want to connect this dark shadow and the light side of the wood with just sort of like this intermediate brown, something in between. But this is something I actually got to be a little bit slow with, because the line itself, this is an important edge, so kind of want to just make sure I don't mess up, make sure it's level. At least to the eye, right? So you don't lose the effect. Which I think it's a little high right there. I can see in my OBS. There's a lot more dark here. It's darkening the brown a lot. I'll go over this area again. Just grab a tiny bit of linseed oil on the brush. Back to some brown here. I wonder if it's worth it for me to just sort of bring this in a little bit closer. Not even worth it for me, worth it for you guys. I just don't want it to block my... Oh right, I could... Oh man, now I'm playing with this too much and it's loosened up. Shit. Hold on. Oh gosh. No, I had it perfect. Slightly down, slightly left. Okay, we can live with that. We can live with that. Just gonna zoom in a little bit here. So it's like slightly easier to see the area that I'm working on, which is just this softer, well, it's a hard edge, honestly. But I'm trying to soften it ever so slightly by adding brown in between the black and the light side of the wooden board, the cutting board. Maybe if I can just drag across, making sure it's level. Any areas where I go a little too low, I'll fix up with the black after. Just telling myself this essentially. Just to tell myself it's okay if I make a mistake on this, but it's also kind of nice to build up a little dexterity with your arms and hands. And try and really do it right. Get it nice and straight. Oh gosh. It feels level. Does it bow up a little? I have to fix that on the other side. Also doable. Okay. Wiped off the brush just because it was getting a little muddy with the black, and I'm going to start from this opposite side now. Just, it's too black. Because I went too high with the black in this area. Okay. Looking decent. Now, I am gonna wash this small brush off. Little Gamsol. Just pull it right out of the bottom of the brush. And back to this orange. A little bit of linseed oil on the brush. Well, that's looking way better. Way better. I gotta go slow though. Twisting the brush as I go here. A bit more paint. Yeah, the back's too wide, that's mean. Oh my gosh, excuse me. Grab my black brush. And just crispen, crispen up that edge. Just make it all the same. And then use this small brush to soften it. Back to a little brown. Okay, I feel like this edge is it's coming together a little bit. Now this back half looks like a chunk was taken out of it. So I fix that. Ooh, okay. That looks better. Pull, 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 pull. And then I'm tempted to just, I'm gonna clean this brush off just a bit. I don't know why I said just a bit. I'm cleaning the frickin' brush off. And I'm gonna blend the dark side. Just so that I don't have that really hard, like freshly painted dark shadow line. Okay, even that's like, that's pretty good. I think there's a nice little bit of natural variation in this edge. Is there any sort of, no, it's just totally black underneath it. If I look at the reference photo, I feel like it's missing like a little bit of like maybe reflected light somewhere just to give it a little bit more depth, but I don't see that in the reference photo. That's fine. Okay, we'll work on the sort of orange portions of this board now. What do I need? This color? Potentially darker. We'll just see what this looks like. Because this is definitely not dark enough. And I want to make sure as I'm painting this area to shape this little corner of the cheese just a bit. Okay. Make sure this is equal width all the way down. What's up, Mike? Good to see you again. Good to see your emotes again. Yeah, make sure if you're watching it, hit that like button. Because... Isn't that all I have to say? Just because. So I'm kind of seeing like this back of the cheese isn't quite drawn correctly. Just like not amazing, but also it won't really matter. What did I do here? Is this sort of, let's see if I can measure this. It is pretty flat. It does get smaller up on this side than it is on this side. You know what? This type of detail does not need to be exact. Photo reference exact. In my opinion. Grabbing a slightly darker color. I want to be super light on this. I'm just tapping with the flat edge. I don't even know if I can see that. I think I'm gonna go darker. One step darker. Maybe just even add a little bit of the darkest to the second darkest. And I'm gonna do the exact same thing. If I could just get a tiny bit of an angle on the first one. Ooh, I like that. Even just that simple line is a little bit of depth. Super chill with this. It's going up a little bit. And it's darker at the front than it is at the back. I'm gonna add the same value and pigment to the front. Just trying to, once again, establish the side plane of this cutting board. Shout out to everyone watching. Thank you for tuning in to a mediocre painting session. I was really thinking, I can get through this. I can finish this one today. But now I'm not so sure. No rush in this section. I know this is probably painful, but doesn't matter. Can't rush. Oh my God, my stick slipped a little bit. I think it's okay. It's definitely not ruined, but I don't really like that, personally. Just gotta be so careful in this area. It's slowly coming to life though, this wooden board. Can a wooden board come to life? Yes. Maybe. Maybe yes, maybe no. No, I just gotta add some of the right, like it's kind of this, just all one color on one side and a little bit of different color on the other side. Maybe I add this, wait. Going back to the mid-tone color and fixing this. This is way too low to the flow. I'll just use a slightly darker one. Yeah, sure. Just sort of painting over, pushing this light layer of the wood back. it shouldn't be there. Just slowly push it back. Still fixing elements of the drawing at this point is a little crazy, but they're minor changes. I feel like this is fine. Just a couple more strokes here, and then once I have this, the size and like the boxes in the right spot here, I'll add in that crack. Lean back. I can see the front needs to be taken in a little bit more here, meaning this area. Not much, like that much. Okay, cool. And yeah, this should be, I feel like, less saturated, more light, well, basically lighter, which it is. So check there. Maybe I'll darken this even just super slightly. Linseed oil on the brush, taking a really thin amount, I guess, or layer of a darker pigment that I have that's sort of in these brown orange, like in that color range. Cool. I think that's kind of cool. Now, this part here, starting at a, I mean, it connects all the way through, but starting at about here, we have a little bit of a light segment. So I'm just gonna loosely paint in this. Just basically putting pigment in this area. And then back with the original, I think I want to go this direction actually. Back with the original color, pushing it. There we go. What's up? What's up, King? How we doing? I was gonna say Kingpin. Yeah, shout out to everyone watching. I appreciate anyone watching or leaving messages in the chat. Maybe you came from my year of painting video, or you've just randomly stumbled upon this, but I'm trying to do a little bit more live streaming. Kind of shows off my painting, you know, in real time. So, which is different than a time lapse, and as a result, I feel like you can learn more. This is essentially a demo. Not that you should be learning from me, but watching people paint can't hurt. So I'm just adding that light area to the front. Looking at it from a little bit from afar. I don't know if I love that edge. Going back with black. And just crisping us up a little bit, just a little. It's definitely subtle changes at this point. God, I would love to move on to the cheese. But I just feel like the board needs a tiny bit more work. And I think right here actually is one of the areas. So let's kind of fix up. There's a bit of scumbling here, or like dry brush paint strokes that I want to eliminate. And the other, okay, that's the other thing. So in the photo, it's lighter over here, and that almost gradiently connects to this light area over here. So I'm just gonna grab a little bit of this light paint and just super softly add this over. Oh my God, I put it in like the area that I did not want to put it, but it's okay. Grab a little bit more pigment on the brush here, and then pulling the light to the dark, or the light over to this light side. And I think that looks good. Yeah, I love that. Okay, cool. And then I gotta get rid of this tiny little area at the bottom. Where's my black brush? Here it is. I don't really want that there. This might be trouble. How do I get rid of this? I can bring it up a little higher, actually. Come on, I'm trying to be careful. I think it looks good. All right, just give me a second to look at this. I am gonna add a little tiny bit of my light just to the back of this. I want this to be more orange at the back of this light portion. Shit. Maybe I can kind of just add a layer up top. Add a layer up top. And then pull it down a touch. Blend out this line a little bit. I think I like that. Looking back at this, and then I do need to add a dark on the left side. Because the right side's blended out. I'm happy with that. So a little bit of the darkest brown that I have. Just going back in here and tapping in this dark portion of the wood. Just tapping it in using flat brush, making sure it's pretty wet so it keeps its shape. Just to give a little bit of separation. I don't know, it's not looking exactly the way I want. So gotta go back in here. Still can't really see it. Interesting. It's so clear on my canvas. But if you can't see it on the camera, it's probably not enough. I'm using linseed oil and Gamsol. Although at this stage in the painting, I am just using linseed oil and paint out of the tube. Like very small amount of linseed oil, actually. This actually needs to be a little thicker. And then at the very end, I want to give it a bit of a pull. It's a little dark. It's a little freaking dark. Blend this down a touch. Okay, gotta fix that now. I think it's because I lightened this area up. I'm just gonna add back a little bit of this slightly darker value. And I think that's the right play here. The lines there are, yeah, do be pretty dark in the photo. I agree. They are pretty dark in the photo, but I'm just looking at mine and comparing it, and it feels, it's close. It's very close. I don't really like how that is jutting out a little bit too much. Like it's kind of following the shape of the shadow, and I really want it to just sort of go under the shadow. Yeah, there we go. Okay, the board's looking decent. I do want to kind of mark this area up. So you can see that that's the edge. And I'm gonna put some, I think I'm gonna put a decent highlight right here. We'll see how this looks a little bit. Oh shit, there's like a clump. So minor, but at this stage, everything is. Okay, clean. I am going to clean my brushes and then maybe mix 1, 2, 3. I'm thinking 3 colors for the blue parts of the cheese, and then maybe just the 1 color for this, like the literal cheese. So the mold and the cheese. I need to mix 3 new colors for the mold, basically. Ooh, I should probably mix like this dark green. Because that would be a fun place to start, actually. Okay, first things first. I've been working with these browns and blacks. So I'm just gonna get all that pigment out of the brushes that I'm using, because I like these brushes and I want to use them in the next portion of the painting. If you're curious, this is a tiny little, focus, flat brush. There's my thumb for reference. So this is, Medine sent me this for free, which is sick. And it's the fine line brush, or the, not fine line, it's the, what do they call it? Just detail brush set, I think. Anyway, love that brush. Similar one here that's a, is this a very thin flat? I don't know what you call this. Round? Not round. I don't know. This one's clean. This one's a much larger though, for the bigger areas of the painting. And then I have 2 of those. One is a little bit crappier. It's like fanning out a little bit, which is super sad, but 'tis the life of a brush. And then I did use this giant one. I'm not gonna use this on the cheese portion. I call it giant, but it's like literally the size of a thumb. But I'll clean that now. I use that for the background, the black background, when I started the session. So just using Gamsol really to clean these brushes off. I like to keep everything fairly clean. I know some painters, they might clean off the brush, but they'll leave it in some solution of just oil, I think. But I like to just make sure everything's clean. Okay, first mix is gonna be, I think all I need is one color for the shadow part of the cheese. It's gonna be maybe 2 colors. Is it really brown? It's like this. So I'm just color swatching the photo. Let's see here. Yeah, it's basically a dark. It's got a bit of that green tint to it, but it's brown towards green. Oh man, okay. Do I even have a spot to put these? Kind of. All right, I gotta get in mixing mode here. I just realized this brush is dirty too. Quickly clean this. Okay. I have a bit of orange. I need more yellow. Put the yellow on the palette. So I'll take a little yellow. I guess I'll mix down here. I could clean up these blacks and give myself more space. Maybe I'll do that. Cleaning up this palette here. I don't know if it's worth it, but I could show the palette. Yeah, why not? Okay. Move this light gray out of the way. You see my purse? That means I'm first. Okay, what was I doing? Yellow, orange, darken it. So we should have like a brown that's a little green. Grab a little of this. Yeah, I need to mix it over here. Perfect. I think that's decent, but I might just need more pigment. So I'll go a little bit more orange, a little bit more yellow. Not even pigment, I just need literally a larger pile of paint. More yellow. Okay, looking at, yeah, okay. Could be actually more yellow. That's good, I'll grab. And we're already mixing, I can see a little bit of the black that used to be right where I'm mixing, which is fine. I'm gonna add black next anyway. And the funny thing about green is a lot of colors of green are actually just a really dark desaturated yellow. And I think that's what I'm seeing a little bit in this underside. Oh yeah, you can't see. On the reference photo, the underside of the cheese. So going to take this orange and add this black, which I made. Okay, I'm gonna add such a small amount because I really don't know how much it's gonna take over. We're gonna need more than this, but it's headed in the right direction. I'm really happy with that. So you can see it's brown, but it does have like a little bit of green to it. Once again, adding just a little bit more of the black, and it's shifting. I see even more green. It's probably hard to even see this because it's a very similar color to this, which means it's not quite there. It needs to be a little darker. So I'm just gonna add black, like very, very minimal amounts at a time. Like no point in ruining this mix, just because I'm rushing it, you know? So I'm getting closer. I'm holding the bottom of my palette knife up near where my reference is, the color reference. Although it's hard to get a good look. Needs to be darker for sure. Grabbing a bit more black. And just continue to do that until I think I have a good color for it. I don't even need that much. Like it's literally gonna show up in some of the cracks of the cheese itself. We're close, a little bit more dark. Some of the cracks in the cheese, the bottom, front edge of the cheese. But I just feel like that's a good place to really nail this down. I'm actually gonna add, if I had it, and I do, burnt umber. Just putting like a tiny bit of like, just out of the tube, burnt umber. This could be a mistake, but I'm using such a small amount, you know, who cares? But I feel like this is getting away from me a little bit too green. And therefore, I want to bring it back to the red side. A little bit browner. This is close. I'm going to hold this up to my reference and just see what I can, see if I can detect anything that I need to change about it. It's really hard to tell, which means I'm probably close. It looks way off in the in this video, probably because of the way the light is hitting it. But I am gonna go slightly darker. I think I'm gonna use brown to darken it, because I could, of course, darken it with the black. You know, don't rush the paint mixing process. I, frankly, really don't like mixing paint, but it's growing on me. And it's such a critical part of a successful painting. So just don't rush it. Okay, we've got a color mix. I'm gonna do maybe one more. I'm gonna kind of just see what I see on this reference. Is it different enough for me to say, yeah, I want that color too? Or can I just sort of blend the cheese white color that I have with this? And I don't know, I don't know. I think I will make it. So I'm grabbing yellow. Grabbing orange. I'm mixing in this old pile of crap because once again, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna be darkening it anyway. I need all this yellow probably. See, now I'm rushing. So slow down. I'm actually gonna desaturate this with white a little bit. Is that too much? Maybe, but I also need to darken it to get that green effect of the desaturated yellow turning to green. I'm just gonna grab a touch of black here. That's probably well, let's see. Not enough. That's too much for sure. Wait, let's see, hold on. might be a little under what we need. Mix it nice and good and just take a second. Needs to be slightly darker. So I'm grabbing a little more black. That's kind of crazy little amount. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that didn't really change it enough. Is that better? I think it needs a little bit more orange actually too. Orange, a little bit darker. And I think I'm happy with this color. Should I mix a couple blues while I'm here? Yes, I should. So we've got the two colors mixed that I'm going to use for that front edge of the cheese. If you look at the reference, essentially the shadow side of the cheese, of the white cheese. Now I need maybe two or three colors for the mold. So I'm just color swatching around in here. It looks like I could actually use the color I just mixed a little bit. Let's look at this green. I almost have like a muted forest green in here. Let's see. So from a neon green, why is it always neon? I need to desaturate. Oh, do I pull out a tube of green? Not like it would be hard. This is a hue, I don't want to use that. I think I do actually want to try this. I'm going to try it. What's the worst that happens? Permanent green here. Permanent green light. I really need so little, so I'm just going in here with a palette knife and scooping out a tiny amount. I won't be able to get this like neon that I'm hunting down, but I think we'll be able to get pretty close. So green plus yellow to get a pretty light green. Then we'll probably we'll definitely add some white and a little bit of black. So start with this piece of green here. I'm not even cleaning off this like mixing area because it's gonna get muddy anyway. And now I have no idea how much yellow and green, so I need a shitload more yellow, evidently. I'm gonna actually have to split this. This is frickin' permanent green, isn't it? So I'm just gonna grab a tiny bit of this. Move this off to the side. I'll probably use that in the future. Now back to the yellow. That is getting there. Need the whole yellow that I dumped out. So I'll probably need more. Wow, that's actually quite neon. I didn't think I could get to that. And I think I need it even lighter, funny enough. I need like, I don't even know what I would call it. Like lime. Neon lime. Bit more yellow. Grab the yellow here. Back down. I am going to just work with this color. Should I? Pull this off to the side. Grab just maybe even less of this. Just a tiny bit. Huge chunk of yellow. Let's just see what this turns out to be. Yeah, this is what I need. God damn it. So it's mostly yellow. Yeah. And this is just like the hue starting point. As far as mixing color, I'm kind of just right now going for the hue. And then I can try and nail the value. So in order to get this dark green blue that shows up in the mold of this cheese, I need to darken this, obviously. But I also need to desaturate it. And I think that I need to desaturate it more than I need to darken it. So I'm gonna add a little bit. I really don't know how this is gonna, like each paint is different in its, amount of pigment. So I'm adding black and white, essentially gray, to this mix. little test bit here. Way darker. Let's keep getting darker with it. It's not even close to dark enough. Put this off to the side. I have a nice chunk of black. Let's just see how this is going to be. Actually quite close, but too dark. That's okay because I split my pile, so I'm just going to grab a little bit over here. So it's funny, I feel like I've actually mixed, this is pretty solid. I'm going to add a little bit more green, this green, for my piles off to the side. And this is kind of like the darkest green blue that is existent in the mold. I'm going to go darker actually. Do I go darker? Let me look for a second. A little bit darker. So I overdid it with the green. That looks clean. This is my darkest. So I'm going to go a little darker again. Just really tinkering with the dial. It's such a small amount. It's definitely desaturated enough, which is good. I may have pushed it too far. Let's see. I think I like it. I think that is the color I want. Just gonna put that over. These are the browns for the, wait. Yeah, these are the brownie greens that are for the front. So I'm gonna put that right there. And let's just get maybe one more. Well, we definitely need this like, let's get a darker. Essentially gray, you know? It's blue, gray, bit of green. Let's get that. In a way, I wish I could show you what I'm doing over here on the side. I'm not sure. It's definitely possible. In the future, I will look into that. But we're going really desaturated green, which means I'm going yellow. I should probably wipe that off. We're going yellow with a bit of green. Back to this kind of neon green. I shouldn't have left all this gunk around, but I'm gonna just maybe, hopefully it'll work out because I gotta add a ton of white to this. Yeah, this is not what I want. It's not even close. I think I essentially need like white. So I made this little pile of white with just a bit of this gray. You know, this is similar to the color I need. Just get a bit more gray. Darken it a little. It's crazy how these are the colors I need. But I think I just got to trust them. There's a little bit grayer, bluer. That's getting close. That feels like a lot. Just putting little amounts at a time. I'll do something crazy. Add just like a smidgen of this green here. I guess I'm getting all of what looks like blue from the black, essentially. Okay. Still needs to be darker. This is where I push it past and mess up, but no, I think this is good. I do want it to be more green. add a bit of these side greens. Maybe even this, why not? Yeah, it needs to be lighter, so this light yellow should probably help. I'm into it, I like it. I don't really know what to do with these anymore. So I'm just gonna pull them all together. And maybe I need this later for something. Who knows? Okay, now I need to put this off to the side, clean this off a little tiny bit. Where can I put this? I guess just over here. Oh. Okay, just like to wipe it down. I'm just gonna super quickly turn on the hot water. You can still hear me. I'm just gonna make a second cup. Can you hear the tap? That's enough. We heat that up. Then I'll come back out steep, come back out and make the tea. Okay, back to the canvas. Back to the frickin' canvas, man. Actually, we can have this kind of zoomed in on... Not that that's zoomed in, but I'm going to zoom it in on the cheese. Yep, making a cup of tea, Mike. Little cuppa. Make it slightly bigger. There we go. That feels nice and nice. So, if you're just joining or you're curious what's going on here, I've finished up the cloth for the most part. I'll say finished up, but I'll probably touch it again. Blacked out the background, worked on this wooden board, and now I want to address essentially this front shadow side, this front edge. I kind of like how this is looking. I'm gonna leave it till I finish the front and then maybe I'll touch up the side again, probably will. But essentially you're gonna start to tackle this front edge and all of the bleu. All of the blueness in my bluches. But I am heating up a tea, so I just need a second. Check out these pants, Jesus. This side is actually getting so covered it doesn't even soak up paint anymore. So I've been going to my off-handed side. Oh, I'm getting hungry too. Is there a little treat in here? Like a small little treat? Not really. Lots of food, but nothing I can make really quickly. We're boiling, we're bubbling, we're bubbling. Okay, premature stoppage here. I can see the steam coming out. Applying the tea to the cup. This is a verbal play-by-play here. Done. Kind of need to let this steep for a couple minutes. It's loose. It's a loose steeper. I'll just look at this for a second. Okay, I think my plan of attack, fixing my reference here on the side. Okay, plan is to go over the bottom edge, finish the bottom edge. Okay, let's assume we did that. Next is the blue. So I think I'm gonna work from, usually people work from dark to light, but I'm tempted to just go light to dark. Light to dark, dark to light. I think light to dark would be maybe easier or smarter or something. Feels like I can add those dark shapes at the end. And some of them have hard edges. And usually soft edge. Usually you get a soft edge by applying whatever color on top. Yeah, okay, that's what I'll do. And then what color is this? Can I just use, the front of the cheese has some mold in it too. I didn't really color swatch this. It's basically black, brown. Kind of have the colors already, so I think I can do that. Okay, I think we've steeped long enough. Wouldn't hate some water too. Now I'm going to water. Sure, my mic's cutting out. Okay, I'm back. Beverage acquired here. Okay, just chugged like 500 milliliters of water. This tea is way too hot. Okay, perfect. Feeling good. Got the paints ready to go. Now, excuse me. We're gonna need a black on the brush. Okay, let's try it. Let's go dark to light on this front edge. Little linseed oil on the brush. Wipe it off, grab some black. And now I'm gonna zoom in on my reference to just this front edge. Lots of work to be done in here. Frankly, just this edge might take another 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Looks a little awkward right now, for sure. Okay, that looks good. didn't mean to like it was tasty. I have to get in front of the camera for this, my bad. The secret stroke. Nobody knows about it. And I'm not telling. There needs to be some mystery, right? I do feel like this first lump is maybe big. But I don't know if that matters enough to fix. Like it's just slightly big, you know? And then we got this little area. Okay, yeah, okay. Sort of following what I did before. Can't show all your tricks, right? Like, come on. And this goes up a little bit, up, 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 up. And then back down. Okay. I need a new brush, something else. Ooh, I like this one. Another detail brush from Meeden. And a little linseed oil on the brush. And I'm just grabbing some wood color again because it's really bothering me that this is way too thick. Way too thick. So I'm going to do that one more time. Make the shadow not as large because when it looks this big, it kind of makes it look like it's hanging off the ground a little too much. It's going just okay right now. This brush is very long. I haven't really used a long brush like this before. Ooh, though, that looks nice. And then just blend this out. Oh, that looks awesome. Sweet. Happy, happy, happy with that. Now, back to just shaping the bottom shadow, just a tiny amount. I'll put this brush over here. I need to put some of these brushes away that I'm not using. There's too many in my business. That's a good one. We're putting you away. Thanks for your service. Boom. Get in there. Definitely don't want this one. This one's kind of crappy. I liked it for a time, but anyway, okay. This one we're not really using. This one I need. This one I need. Okay. Maybe I should use this one actually. It's fraying a little bit more than I'd like. Cleaning it up, and I'm going to pick a different one. I got lots of options here. Because I do need a detail brush at this, for this spot. This will do. Okay, now let's add the dark portion, and then the light portion, then the chase. Little linseed oil in the brush. And like, this is what I'm talking about. This is a very small area. I think I'm happy with that color though. Kind of cut into the shadow a little bit. Ideally, we get a little bit of blending here. It doesn't look good right now, but I need to add the highlight or the lightest dark at the top. And I feel like this is not really the right shape. Kind of want it to be a little bit more like this. Yeah. Okay, we're almost at the 2-hour mark. Damn. What time is it? Almost 3. I need to do dinner and a little bit of figure drawing still today. So maybe I do this front edge and then potentially call it. But we'll see. I would do my figure drawing on stream, but the nudity is not. People don't like the nudity online. Ooh, I gotta add a dark area to this part here too. Yeah, this is I like this. I like the way this is looking. Very simple shadow edge right now. I think next time I'll integrate the music more with the stream. That way it can kind of be just like a chill listening, like a chill vibe. This part over here is a little more orange actually than it is green. But I believe I can add that later. Black on this. Just kind of exactly what I want. Through here is the middle is right to there, which means I have this is where the mold is on the front edge. Just trying to outline the shape a little bit. Okay. Just add the slightly darker areas in here. And then I think I can add some green a little later on. But this is a good little placeholder for where there's a good amount of blue. And then I'm also going to kind of smooth out the edge that is connected. Now that I have some paint on here, I can do that. Just make it a little softer. Yeah, that's looking okay. It's looking okay. And then, so this black comes up here, and we have kind of this area that's darker. Almost two edges there. Grabs just a bit more paint. So kind of create that edge. Okay. Let's do the lighter portion of the shadow edge. So I've got clean brush, a little bit of linseed oil on the brush, a little bit of sip of the hot tea, see where the temp's at. The temp's hot. The temp is hot for sure. Ah! Jesus. I wonder when this mic will run out of battery, actually. It's an interesting thought to have. One might have. So we have a point here. And then we go up. And then we start to just lighten this area. Looks a little bad at the moment, but I'm going to commit to it. And I think it will get better once I add in the actual really light light. Almost like this is a base of just a slightly lighter color in the dark side. We'll connect it up with that. Now all this is like a little bit more orange. Something that I have to potentially fix as I continue to go here. Do I use which brush do I use? I'll use this brush. Little linseed oil on the brush, and now I'm working with this like essentially white. Yeah, this is not the brush. Need another small one. Perfect. Oh. It's kind of important that I get this like dovetail wedge that's right here. I feel like that's so obviously a part of this shadow. There's just this like little ledge there. This crack is a little aggressive. That's better. Just keep slowly adjusting. Like this part here comes wait. Comes up again. Down. Definitely needs a brown on this side. I have the browns. Let's just use it. Let's just do that. Kind of have the browns. Mixing a little something something on the fly here. I think you're gonna like it though. I honestly think this is the right color. A couple more layers. It's looking a little green. Looking a little bit too green. Just kind of getting in here a little bit. Fixing a couple of these edges. This little area is going to take forever to dry if I don't, especially. Which is fine. Okay. Is this black? Or is this just nothing? Oh, this black, good. Segment in between here. Okay. I'm reasonably happy with that. I need to let it dry a little bit. And then go in with some more accurate colors. So I don't know if I'm finishing this today. I thought there was a chance. I'm glad I didn't put that in the title. Tomorrow, or maybe not tomorrow, but the next time I work on this for sure, I'll be able to finish. Ooh, I guess one part I wasn't really thinking about is, let's do it now, I guess. The chunk that's missing. Going with some of my dark here. Just create this edge. I can go in with the darks and darken this in areas. Hold on, give me 1 second here. 1 second here, 1 second here. Where's my, I'm super zoomed in here. Okay, now the lighter areas and the darker areas. That's easy enough. It's definitely this edge here. And kind of like a dangly bit right here. Just really hinting at details. Don't want to go crazy in this particular vicinity. This is definitely got to be darker, this part here. Okay, really soft. Darker right here too. Yeah, looks good on the edge here. Go. And then this dark part essentially connects with the shadow. Ooh, okay. I think actually, like, it doesn't look perfect yet. This part's too bright. That'll darken it. And then just come a little line right there, yeah. Okay. All right. Black. Just clean these two brushes off. Okay. Now I'm going to apply yeah, the thin layer of my lightest blue everywhere I see, excuse me, everywhere I see the mold. So I gotta zoom out on my reference here. Take my light blue, little linseed oil on the brush. So I've got like a line here. This part, I don't know, I feel like I don't have to be as accurate. But it would make it easier if I had a decent map of where all the mold must go. Like there's some shit that comes all the way down like this. Kind of lightening what I had. I'm not sure if it's better or not. We'll just see. It'll only look good once I add the dark portions. Kind of goes up to a little spot there and then across for sure. Thinning. In fact, it might even be a bad idea to be too detailed with this. Just saying, hey, there's some mold right, boom, here. All I'm saying. Not saying any other thing. A little bit of mold here. A little bit of mold here. Kind of in this V shape. This one kind of connects to the crack up there on the side. And this has a weird shape to it. Thin to thick triangles and whatnot. Kind of just have like a bloop, boop. This part I definitely messed up when I was sort of first mapping this out, or I was just lazy with it. I just have a small thing here, and then I have kind of a significant curl here. Just a couple stems coming off of it. What's up, Sammy? Addicted to blue cheese? Well, this is the stream for you. Classic, I have to say this every time someone mentions it, but I do not like blue cheese. I bought this blue cheese for the sole purpose of painting it. And I did not consume it. It's still in my freezer. I will not be consuming it. Cut this, go up through here. Wait. There's also, I think there's another one here that I've sort of not added. Chunk of blue. We definitely have this section over here. Blue cheese and toast? What are the macros on blue cheese? Is it protein dense? I'm just assuming you know, because you have big muscles. Up. Shit right there. Okay. I'm gonna move on now to just adding some of these really dark areas of the cheese. Hopefully this color's right, it's weird. It's very green. In fact, I kind of want to do this here and just we'll test it out a little bit. A little bit of green in these areas could be nice, especially in here. Yep, that looks better. Not perfect, looks better. I think I'll need some more like thick blotches on, potentially just blacks. Black blotches. Diets high in cheese are some of the best. And I think they have some good things going for them, the cheeses. People always shout out the Mediterranean diet though, over the France cheese and bread. Is this gonna look good? Like, I don't know if I'm gonna even know until I'm a majority of the way done. It looks good. Poke, pull. It's definitely a little dark. I'll go over and blend it once I've gone through the whole cheese, but wow, this is such a delicate part of the process here. Ugh, that's too dark for sure. In that area. Thicker up in here. I'm gonna hold off on blending. I'm really thinking it needs a blend in the areas. But it'll be better if I just do it all at once at the end. I think it'll be easier to sort of gauge how much. This has been a beefy session. I'm approaching 2.5 hours. I think I probably worked on this for like 45 minutes off stream before I started today. Just discolor that a little bit. But like a 3-hour session is approaching on a long time. Minimal breaks too. That's what I'm proud of. No, that looks bad. God, this is gonna need some fixing up for sure. Tomorrow, that is. Like a full day, a full unaffected session just on the mold. Sounds pretty exciting to me. Don't mess with my session. What's up, Mateus? catching me right at the end here. Detail brush is putting in work today. Oh, you're having a board game night. Nice. Right now, or is it already over? Kick that up a bit. Okay, there's too many lines, obviously. This one jumps out at me. So I'm gonna get rid of essentially all of it. This one jumps out at me. But it is there, it's pretty prominently there. Although I want it to look different. Let's go back to this green. I think it's this one. I want to have basically a bunch of dots with a streak at the end. Oh, started right before your stream. Nice. That's good, man. Okay. Gonna take a second to just blend out, honestly, this whole thing. Just soften up every edge in here. Tomorrow I'll go back. And clean this up. But at this point we have some nice general colors generally in the spots that we want them. Like that actually, that's coming together. That is coming together. Try and get some of this green into the white, just a little bit. Ooh, that was a little much. Cool, I'm into that. Oh no, you did something to your sink with it? That's always a concern when crafting. Okay, let me see here. Brush. That one's clean. Keep that out though. That one's clean, keep that out. Clean all these detail brushes. One. Hey, is this clean? Oh, it is. Okay, good. Very good. That doesn't sound that refreshing. Okay, be right back. Just grabbing the Tupperware I store my paint in. The lid. So I'm gonna put away my paint now. What I like to do is I get a lid like this. I grab the leftover paint that I have off my palette with the palette knife. I'm so bad at this. Okay. And wipe it there. That's it. Then I put this in the freezer. And it is all good to use tomorrow. And I'll just do this to all the colors that have a meaningful amount left. Into the cheese colors. Shadow color 2. Ooh, I'm shaky right now. I need to eat something. This is mold color 1. This is mold color 2. And then I've got the browns for the table, or for the wooden cutting board, which I'm definitely going to touch up. So I want these browns. Just grab it, toss it on there. Jesus. Oh my gosh, it's bending in my hand. That's not ideal. Even this one's super light for the table. Do I want this green? I guess I'll... No, I'm not going to keep that. Hold on. We'll do that last. White paint. Oh, you literally damaged the sink? Shit. Yeah, some chemicals are harsh. Especially the ones you use in paint. Definitely want to keep this red. Throw this brown down. Running out of space. We'll put the brown down here. God, I'm so shaky. Green, don't care about. I'm just going to get rid of the green. So now that I have this, I'm just going to throw this all in the freezer. And as long as you don't leave it in there for like multiple days, it will... it'll be perfect for use the next day. Scraping up all the excess paint that's on my palette, putting it into a shop rag. Does this have any color on it? No. And then I'm just gonna do a quick little wipe down of the entire palette. Keep it super clean. Don't allow it to get dirtier, I guess. If you read carefully info about the refreshing paints for titles and bath tubes. Oh, well. I honestly don't even know what you mean. I don't really... Oh, that was a loud little click, sorry. Putting away my oil. But that must mean I'm not doing it, so that's good. Because it's pointless. Okay, rag, garbage. That one's pretty well used. Okay, I think I'm all cleaned up here. Let's take one last look at the painting here. I'll fix this so you can see the whole thing. Shit, I just lost it. Wait a second, holy shit. I just dragged it all the way off my screen and I can't. How do I get to it? Okay, I can scale the window. Oh my god. Oh, am I actually this tech inept? There we go. That's funny. There we go. So we're looking at the whole thing here. It's close. It is close. I think I will spend most of tomorrow, you know, just adding these dark little spots that need to show up here nice and slow. Maybe touch up the side, and I think I'm ready to move on to the next painting after that. I got some shit to do tomorrow. A lot of shit to do. But yeah, maybe I'll be able to do it in the evening. That could be nice. So look out for the stream. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll switch to this face cam and just say bye. Thank you for watching. At least one more stream before this is done, but that's gonna be it. So peace out everybody. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Follow if you're not, and